From McGrath Stadium in Attleboro, it's the Blue Bombardiers of Attleboro taking on the Bishop Feehan Shamrocks on Comcast Varsity Sports Zone. Hi everybody, Rich Levine along with you. We are glad to have you with us for this game seen exclusively on Comcast. Joined as always by my good friend Alan Platt. Good matchup here tonight. Bishop Feehan, the host team, they come in at 4-2 overall. They're 3-0 in the Eastern Athletic Conference, and they come off a big 41-3 win over Bishop Stang last week. Attleboro, not a long trip to come over here. Both schools are located in Attleboro, just a couple of miles apart. They had a big 22-21 win over Somerset last week. They're 2-0 in the EAC. So tonight, first place on the line in the conference, and of course any aspirations of a possible Super Bowl bid as well. And two terrific players, one on each side of the football for each of these teams.
No doubt about that. Let's start with Attleboro. A few weeks ago on Comcast Varsity Zone, we were down in Attleboro for a home game against New Bedford. We saw Mike Palermo, the small tailback for Attleboro, had a huge game. As a matter of fact, he got stronger in the fourth quarter of that game when Attleboro had to win it. So he's about 5'5", 150, averaging over 150 yards per game. Tonight he'll be the key performer coming out of the tailback spot for Attleboro. As for Bishop Feehan, their wide receiver Ron Conway is an amazing athlete, two-sport athlete, a sprinter in track. Wide receiver, has 4 touchdown catches so far, but probably just as important, he's the kicker. Punter and the field goal place kicker. And as you mentioned, you saw him during the pregame warm-ups, hit a couple from like 40 yards and beyond. So as a junior, he's garnered a lot of interest from some of the Eastern Regional's biggest colleges, looking forward to next year.
Last week, to give you the idea of his leg, 50 yards a punt in last week's game in their win over Bishop Stang. Right now, let's go down to the sideline and join the third member of our broadcast crew, Trina Fernandez.
Thanks, guys. Well, high school rivalries all have their traditions, and that is certainly the case here in Attleboro. They've been playing this game for 40 years, and the local Elks Club has been hosting a pregame dinner for 30 years. Now, since they've been presenting that trophy, Bishop Feehan has a slight edge at 15-14-1, and they beat Attleboro handily the last 3 years in a row. But that shifty Palermo and the Blue Bombardiers might just have some tricks up their sleeve on this hallowed eve. We'll see what happens. Back to you, Rich.
Thanks very much, Trina. Should be a good football game. Of course, one of the keys stopping Palermo for Bishop Feehan. We'll see if they're able to do that. Bishop Feehan has a lot of weapons of their own. Should be a good clash. We're going to take a quick time out. We'll come back with our opening kickoff. It's Bishop Feehan and Attleboro next on Comcast Varsity Sports Zone. And welcome back to McGrath Stadium. Rich Levine along with Alan Platt. Trina Fernandez down on the sidelines. Our producer, director Chris Larson, and our entire Comcast Varsity Sports Zone crew. We welcome you to what should be a pretty entertaining football game as you look at Kevin Deschaines right in the middle there with the headsets around his neck. Super nice guy. He's been extremely helpful in both games we broadcast, helping to prepare. And you know, it's nice to see both he and Coach Jack Peavy have a nice relationship. They were kidding around out on the field beforehand, but now we get down football. It's time to, butt heads.
It's going to be a bit of a chess match, mainly from Attleboro standpoint. As you mentioned in the open, they've lost the last few games, and Feehan has a decided size advantage, especially on the offensive and defensive lines. We noticed that when we did the Attleboro-New Bedford game. New Bedford appeared to have more size, maybe a little more skill, but Attleboro was able to stick in there behind Palermo mainly and get that win.
Ron Conway, tremendous place kicker, kickoff man, punter, wide receiver. He has it teed up. It'll be Stefan Leach, number 25, and number 4, Chris Palermo back deep. High kick, end over end, is going to come down at about the 3-yard line. This is Chris Palermo out to the 20, trying to find a little seam, and he gets met head on and brought down right near the 20-yard line, where Attleboro will start 1st and 10. Mike Dunner, who 2 weeks ago got hurt on the opening play from scrimmage and didn't play the rest of the night, is back at quarterback tonight, a 5'10", 161-pound senior. So he'll lead him up to the line of scrimmage. Jared Little, who actually played the rest of that game at quarterback, is actually hurt and out this week. So Mike Dunner is your starting quarterback. 1st and 10, and the ball resting at about the 19-yard line. I formation. Looking to throw. Dunner under pressure, and he's going to be sacked back inside the 15 near the 12-yard line. They tried to cross him up instead of going to Palermo, went to the play action, and Dunner goes down with the sack.
We mentioned Palermo, the main offensive weapon. On the first play, they tried to play action to him, but it wasn't fooling Bishop Feehan at all. And as you mentioned, good pressure inside, so thrown for a loss.
Creamer is your fullback, Palermo the tailback, Larkin, Leach, and Cloutier are the receivers. Smith, Silvera, Lexner, Wojcik, and Manganella are the offensive line. I'm going to call it a loss of about 8 2nd and 18 now. And a fumble on the snap. Dunner lost the football, still loose. I think Palermo might have fallen on it, and he did as Attleboro maintains the football, but a flag down as well. Or did they just throw the beanbag to spot it? Okay.
Flag, fumble.
And so they lose about 5 more. Ball's all the way back almost to the 10-yard line. They've gone back 10 yards in 2 plays. Pesanello, Payne, Liberdoni, and Luke Pasella up front. Smith, Silvera, Lexner, Wojcik, and Manganello.
Don Smith from Attleboro played a good game both ways in the line against Bedford.
McCourt, Moore, Vizakis, and Rizzoli are the backers. And Messenger, Conway, and McCoy in the secondary. So 3rd down and about 20, and now they're going to blow this one dead. And boy, there's about 7 flags down. I thought there were only about 5 officials out there.
Yeah, I think what happened was the first official threw the beanbag, and then the other guys threw the yellow flags.
Your referee right there on your screen is James Pereira, and it's illegal procedure. The rest of the officiating crew tonight, Bob Olila is the umpire. The linesman is George Wilcox. The field judge is Joe Flynn. The back judge, Mark Furtado, and the clock operator is Phil Curry.
Well, this is a really dreadful opening series for Attleboro.
Yeah, they
didn't get much on the kickoff return, then they've been going backwards ever since.
Yeah, they started at actually just shy of their own 20. They're back at the 5-yard line in 3rd and 25. So 3rd and 25. Dunner is going to throw from his own end zone, going long, incomplete. Stefan Leach had a couple of green shirts back there with him. Nick Messenger, number 12, in on the coverage. And that's incomplete, 4th down.
Well, trying to trick them up, I think that Attleboro probably figured that Bishop Feehan would think they would just go to Palermo to try to get a little more yardage for the punt, but had a chance to go downfield, but the ball was overthrown.
So Derek Johnson will punt this one away. And Matt Kinch standing in single safety. He's at the 40-yard line of Attleboro. So they're going to get great field position as the line of scrimmage is the 5-yard line. Again, Derek Johnson standing towards the back of his own end zone, gets time. It's a high, very, very short kick, and I mean very short. That ball only went about 8 or 10 yards.
Well, he got some pressure from his left and tried to avoid the pressure with the kick, and as you mentioned, you see some of the
see where they're going to spot the football.
Parents.
Great crowd on hand here on Halloween. There's Jack Peavy with the hood.
He's happy with this. Huge break for Bishop Feehan to get their first offensive start.
Yeah, the ball's going to be spotted at the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Shamrocks. John McCoy, your quarterback, and one of the captains for this team. 6 foot, 190-pound senior. So great opportunity for the Shamrocks right out of the gate. 1st and 10 at the Attleboro 16-yard line. And it looks like McCoy might be checking off. They go with double wide receivers out of the I. In motion, that's Fontaine to give right up the middle, and that's the tailback Kyle McAllis on the carry. And he gets about 5, down close to the 11-yard line. Up front, it'll be Vizakis, or excuse me, in the backfield, Vizakis, McAllis, Conway, Messenger, and Doherty. Payne, Liberdoni, Cuomo, Pesanello, and Bernardo are the offensive line. Gain of 5, we'll call it 2nd and 5 at the 11-yard line. Messenger in motion to give to McAllis again, and he's got big room off the right side. He'll have close to 1st down yardage at the 5. I believe it'll be 1st and goal.
Well, you mentioned the front line for Bishop's Feehan. They go pretty big, 235, 220, 280, 265, and the center is 205 across.
Smith, Silvera, DeForest, and Mooney up front defensively for Attleboro. Nunez, Cloutier, Silvera, and Rose are the backers. Larkin, Chris Palermo, and Mike Palermo in the secondary. So first and goal at the 5-yard line now. Again, McAllis trying left tackle, touchdown. Boy, a huge gaping hole opened up and an easy 6 points right there.
That was just size and good blocking, good technique that time to really blow out the front of the Attleboro defense.
Now they made that opening 6 points look easy.
Well, again, it had to do with the field position. They started with the 16-yard line. When you're playing at home, you're a bigger team. Just took advantage of that size.
Conway for the extra point out of the hold of McCoy. It is up. And it is good. 7-0 Bishop Feehan as the teams head back upfield.
Let's watch this replay again. You'll see a simple handoff. The left side of the offensive line just blows out the elbow. He doesn't get touched at all. As McAllis
I think
gets
you
inside.
could have run that one.
Oh, I could have walked that one. But again, I think it's a situation where we mentioned that first series for Attleboro was just so bad. They kept going backwards until they had a 3rd and long at their 5-yard line.
They lost 15 yards on the opening possession.
Then you get a poor punt. Next thing you know, you're 1st and 10 for Bishop Feehan at the 16-yard line.
So we're sort of back where we started the game. Conway has it teed up. And Attleboro will receive the football once again, but now Bishop Feehan with a 7-0 lead as you look at the Attleboro sideline. We'll see how they react, because it clearly is not the way that head coach Kevin Deschaines wanted to start the game. His club's won 4 in a row. They started 0-3, and they've been playing some good football.
What they want to do is avoid whatever was happening as far as attitude or response during that 3-game losing streak to start the season. We saw the middle of that winning streak when they beat New Bedford, and they played some good football. So I would expect them to bounce right back.
So Conway has it teed up. Leach and Palermo again back deep. And this is going to be Leach standing at about his 3-yard line. Coming to the near sideline, trying to pick up a block, and he's going to be snowed under back inside the 15-yard line. Again, terrific kick coverage by Bishop Feehan. So again, Attleboro starting deep in their own territory, and they need to find some positive yardage here.
Well, I think I would hope this series they'll go to Palermo. He's their main guy. He's, as I mentioned, last week 31 carries, 186 yards. And we saw him a couple weeks ago.
182 yards.
He's an amazing
against New Bedford.
Yeah, he's really an amazing tailback. And even though he's undersized, I remember in the interview after the game with Trina, he was saying he uses his short stature to his advantage.
Kind of hides behind those offensive line. Right. You got it. And he doesn't need a lot. He just needs a little crack.
Hasn't had the ball yet.
Nope. So 1st and 10 now. In motion is Matt Shepperson. And the fullback Creamer off the right side. And he'll get a couple of yards, maybe 2. Mike Creamer, 5'9", 170-pound junior, the guy who does a bulk of the lead blocking for Palermo.
He also had some key runs in that game against New Bedford. Watch it again. First man through is Creamer. Bounced off his own block, but is able to find a little bit of a seam. Gets a few yards.
Call it a gain of just over 2. We'll call it 2nd and 8.
Back it up, Green.
All at the 17-yard line. They send Leach out wide to the left, and this time they put Shepperson in the slot to the left side. 7-0, Attleboro trailing, 2nd down and 8. This is Palermo, and he's going to be stopped for no gain, maybe a loss. Right side of the defensive line, Liberdoni and Lupacella really did a nice job, along with Dave Payne, one of the captains. Payne, by the way, is an interesting story. He plays the line both ways as we take another look.
First carry for Palermo, no room at all. Tried to go that left side, and again, I think it's the size at this point, this early part of the game, the size for the defensive line for Bishop Feehan is really controlling the line of scrimmage.
So it'll be 3rd and 9. Payne being recruited by Boston College, Maryland, and get this, he's already been accepted to Harvard. Wow. So he's got lots of good choices there as to where he wants to play football next year.
Attleboro takes a timeout. They want to make sure that they have something going on this 3rd down play. They got a 3rd and 9.
3rd and 9. They trail 7-0, and we have 6:21 to go here in the opening quarter.
You know, one of the good things about our Varsity Zone schedule so far this season. We've had a chance to see a number of excellent student athletes. Nuzzo from Everett, similar, has a number of offers from major football schools and good academic institutions.
So 3rd down and 9 now. They're going to pitch it back to Palermo, trying to sweep to the right side, breaks one tackle, and he'll be brought down after about 4 or 5 yards, but it'll be about 5 yards shy of the 1st down. It'll be 4th down, and the Blue Bombardiers will have to punt it away.
He didn't get much on that, but if you watch this replay, what's good about this, you see Palermo shedding the first tackler. He gets a short game, but at least Attleboro now is starting to feel like they can get into this running game.
Well, they need that kind of play on 1st down, right? Get 4 or 5 yards.
I was a little surprised they were trying to fool Bishop Feehan by going away from Palermo.
Johnson to punt it away again. Man, Kinch in single safety. Bad snap. Lost it. Has time, however, and gets the punt away.
And a flag. Yep.
And a flag down. The ball's going to bound out to midfield. It'll be down at about the 49, but a flag down, and let's see if we have roughing.
We do. He did an excellent job. It's going to be a personal foul. 1st down for Attleboro.
That's a big break.
Well, the punter, I'd say what he did, he was able, watch what happens. It goes through his legs. Finds it. Fortunately for him, there was no pressure initially, but he gets it off and then gets wiped out by
big one number 65. Yeah, Payne
David Payne
couldn't avoid him, and he definitely got him. So an automatic 1st down for Attleboro.
Huge break for.
Boy, that is big.
There's the head coach Bishop Feehan trying to argue that it may have been running into the kicker, but how could it be roughing? It's definitely roughing because Payne just wiped him out.
I think it has something to do with the size of Payne, too. He's a big kid. 6'3", 265. So the ball spotted all the way out. Let's see, right at the 40-yard line. Actually, the 35. So 1st and 10 for Attleboro at the 35. Shotgun for Dunner.
4 receivers out.
He's going to roll to the far side, throws it, and let's see, incomplete. You think Kevin Duchesne just expects that they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and try to stop
Palermo?
No doubt
about that. Exactly. This first 2 series, that's exactly what he's expecting. And the alignment for Bishop Feehan defensively so far is showing that they're in a 4-3, but they have the cornerbacks up. Conway's the free safety. So he's sort of in the middle of the field playing like a center field spot, but everybody else is very close to the line of scrimmage.
Rob McCourt, number 20, is the rover, and they'll move him all over the field, put him in the secondary, put him up on the line, and normally a linebacker as well. Again, shotgun on 2nd and 10. This time the delay to Palermo, and he's going to lose yardage. Fooled nobody.
No, what happens is Attleboro put the extra receivers out there, but on that play, it doesn't. Watch the replay. This is actually going to the fullback because Palermo was one of the wide receivers.
Okay,
but he got nothing. I think Attleboro on that play was hoping that by putting Palermo out as a wide receiver, that was going to draw at least double coverage, which it didn't do. I really think the fact that Conway is such a good athlete at safety that he's expected to cover up for any mistakes in the secondary.
So 3rd down now and 13 back at about the 33 or 32-yard line.
That's Palermo in motion.
Dunner looking to throw again, wants to go long for Leach, and he makes the catch. Broke the tackle and finally brought down at about the 25-yard line on a touchdown-saving tackle.
Say, that was all Leach because that ball was really underthrown.
Rod McCourt saved the 6.
Leach did a good job to come back to the football. I think the ball just sort of slipped off of Dunner's hands because it really was flopping out there as opposed to being a spiral.
Yeah, but McCourt didn't read it, and Leach
did not come back. Exactly. Leach did a good job coming back. Was able to gather it, and more importantly, as he was being chased down, kept control of the ball because a lot of times when you're trying to get into full speed, you may have the ball a little loose.
All right, so 1st and 10 now. Attleboro at the 25-yard line of Bishop Feehan. Again, they have Palermo in the slot. That's Shepperson in motion. Dunner out of the shotgun, the little flip. This is Palermo trying the left side, and he's going to be brought down. Beautiful tackle out there by John McCoy, the right cornerback.
Once McCoy saw Palermo had the football with no threat to pass, did a good job of coming up, picture tackle. This Palermo looks like he's already played 3 quarters. Be sure to join us every weekend for Comcast Varsity Sports Zone. If you want some of the region's best high school action just like tonight, keep it tuned to CN8 and get in the zone. I tell you, Palermo's the type of player that you just keep giving him the ball during the course of the game, and he's going to break a couple of them.
Absolutely. Way too talented. 2nd and 12 now. And again, Creamer the lone setback out of the shotgun for Dunner. Throws it to the little screen out to Leach. Stefan Leach has good yardage. They'll be shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down, but picked up about 7.
So let's give Coach DeShange from Attleboro some credit. He's really changing his formations a lot. This time it's a simple flare pass to the flat. There's Leach. Gets away from the initial tackler and gains about 7 yards.
Almost like the flanker screen.
Yeah, I think he went out of bounds first before he was actually tackled. But that worked because what DeShange did, he brought 2 receivers to the right side and then threw the ball over to the left.
They need the 15 for the first down, the ball at the 20, so 3rd and 5 now with 2:33 to go here in the opening quarter, and Attleboro trailing 7-0.
We got 3 receivers over here to the right.
3 to the right, 1 to the top of your screen. Bad snap. Dunner able to pick up the football, rolling right, trying to buy some time, and gets rid of it. Let's see, was he down or incomplete? Incomplete, he got the ball away. It'll be 4th and 5.
Yeah, he did throw it right then as he was being pulled down, but didn't have enough on it.
And certainly without having a kicker who can kick from this distance, this is 4-down territory.
This is the botched snap there, but Dunner does a good job getting out. And this is he's going down, tries to get it downfield.
Anthony Vazakis, one of the captains, number 34, chasing him down. Boy, good speed from his linebacker position.
Even with the size that Bishop Feehan has, they get to the ball pretty well defensively.
All right, so 4th down and 5 at the 20-yard line, and the Blue Bombardiers will go for it. Dunner looking into the end zone for Leach.
Touchdown.
Let's see.
He got it. No, it's
incomplete, out of bounds.
Wow.
Leach came down with a football, but out of bounds.
I don't know how he. I'm telling you, I don't know
catch.
how he even got to it. It looked like it was overthrown by as soon as it was put up there.
Well, it was because it was out of the end zone.
Yeah, let's.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back with more of our first quarter. 7-0 Shamrocks. Welcome back on the change of possession after the incomplete pass on 4th and 5. McCoy has him up to the line of scrimmage. Bishop Feehan 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Messenger in motion. They give to the tailback McAllis. Not much running room that time, maybe just a yard. You know, in speaking with Jack Peavy before tonight's ball game, talking about keys, the head coach of Bishop Feehan said stop Palermo.
Just watch that last 4th down. There's Leach. Looked like he had it, but
not until he was out of bounds.
Right, okay, he didn't have it until he was out of bounds.
And great coverage, great camera work right there. But he said stop Palermo, no big plays of 30 yards or more, and win the kicking game. Those were the 3 keys for Jack Peavy and the Bishop Feehan Shamrocks. Call it 2nd down and about 8. Again, Messenger in motion. Again, the pitch back. McAllis getting some blocking, and he'll get out near the 25-yard line where it'll be about 3rd and 5.
I think if you ask him now, he'd say the 4th key would be no big penalties because that roughing the kicker really gave Attleboro some life, allowed them to keep this long drive going, and now the Attleboro defense is playing even a little better. I think they're a little shocked after that first quick touchdown by Bishop Feehan, especially when they were so inept on their first series, but now they seem to be a little more into the game.
3rd and 5 at the 25. Twin receivers to the bottom of your screen. Shotgun formation for McCoy on 3rd and 5. Lone setback is McAllis. McCoy with time, looking down the far sideline, incomplete.
Good coverage.
Chris Palermo back on the coverage, and that pass was intended for Brandon Fontaine, number 24.
Interesting, both coaches sort of using their main guys as decoys. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe Peavy's telling him he should have thrown to Conway. But excellent coverage that time by the other Palermo. Chris Palermo, we've seen him. He returns kicks, and he also plays the right cornerback spot.
So Ron Conway will punt it away. Chris Palermo is back deep. Brendan Larkin in short safety, and Chris Palermo back deep. Line of scrimmage is a 25, and now
Bishop
Feehan calls timeout.
Missing the guy.
How many times do we see that in the course of a football season? Quite a few.
Oh, you're going to see it a lot.
Actually, it's almost every game.
Yeah, at least once. But again,
actually, you know what? It's not to get on high school kids. It happens at every level of football.
Definitely.
It's unbelievable.
Between injuries or changing formations or the situation, a lot of times players just forget what they're assigned to.
Conway averaged 50 yards a punt last week, and now we have another stoppage. And Attleboro might have had too many men on the field. They had to take somebody off.
So just give him one to Bishop Feehan. Could have had the punt.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, Conway, who's does all the place kicking, all the punting, all the kickoffs, does all the kicking for Bishop Feehan. Last week in the game against Bishop Stang, averaged 50 yards a punt. So let's mark this one. It's at the 25-yard line.
For high school, that's almost unheard of.
Yeah, that's just tremendous. He's only a junior. And Chris Palermo standing just inside his 35. So he's about 50 yards away. Booming high kick. Palermo's going to move up, and actually it goes over his head. And it's going to roll out of bounds all the way inside the 25 at the 23-yard line. That's a 52-yard punt.
Yeah. And I think what we just saw with Chris Palermo from Attleboro, just not used to seeing anyone punt the ball that well. He totally misjudged it, had to go over his head.
Let me tell you, my friend, that's a college punter right there.
No doubt about it. It went up in the air, tight spiral, turned over, as they say, and it has that.
Right, and he actually came up on it thinking he had to come in, and all of a sudden realized it was going over his head. 7-0 our score with 29 seconds to go first half. As you look at the Attleboro huddle, they trail Bishop Feehan 7-0. But they have the football back after a 3-and-out defensively. So 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Palermo in motion. He'll get the handoff left side, trying to find some running room, breaking tackles. And his best run of the night is he got 8 yards or so out near the 28-yard line.
This is exactly what we saw him do against New Bedford. He was stymied in the first couple of series. You see Coach DeShanes has to be happy with that first real breakout run by Palermo.
They actually put him in motion and gave him the ball that time.
There's a number of different ways they do it.
That might have been the last play of the first half. Actually, it was a first down pickup, so they're resetting the chains. We'll see if 8 seconds left in the first quarter, so we'll see if they get another playoff here. I don't believe they will. Nope, that'll be the end of our opening quarter. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back for quarter number 2, 7-0 Bishop Feehan. And welcome back as we're at McGrath Stadium in Attleboro. Bishop Feehan on top of the Attleboro Blue Bombardiers by the score 7-0 as we begin quarter number 2. 10-yard carry for Mike Palermo on that last carry, and certainly the best of his night as he got just beyond 10 yards and picked up a first down. Ball spotted out at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for Attleboro. The give, this is Mike Palermo trying the right side, and he'll do well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Got a flag in the play. right before the snap, we had the linesman actually threw the flag.
Referee Jim Pereira.
It's offside, Bishop Feehan.
That'll cost him 5, and that'd be break for Attleboro. So it'll be 1st and 5 now, out at the 38-yard line. One of the cheerleaders' birthdays tonight. Happy birthday to her. Must
18.
be the one with the balloons. What do you
think? I think so. 18 tonight. Must get a lot of jokes Halloween birthday, huh?
I would think so.
Yeah, Bishop Feehan sideline, a little too close to the action. It's interesting, when I was coming in, heard some of the Bishop Feehan fans saying that they should get 4 in a row against Attleboro because they're just too big for them. And if you look at the sizes, you have all your on your chart people listed.
Yep.
There is a decided size advantage both in the line and the linebackers. But again, quickness sometimes in football can be just as important if you use it correctly.
4 receivers set again on 1st and 5 for Dunner. Dunner looking to go down the right side of the field, looking for Leach, incomplete. Back on the coverage was number 12, Nick Messenger. And they've sent Leach on that fly pattern a couple of times here in the first round.
It seems that they feel, Attleboro feels like Leach may have a bit of an advantage speed-wise, and they are only giving him single coverage. That time, Dunner just overthrew it. You mentioned the injury to Dunner. I'm not sure if Attleboro is going to use the option play at all because he injured his leg a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
That's one of the ways they get the ball to Palermo also. When they have that quarterback
Let's see if
belly out.
they bring that out in their formations here tonight. So 2nd down and 5. Dunner again out of the shotgun, steps up. Now lets it go. Complete. Has his man along the far sideline. And that's complete to Jesse Cloutier, the tight end, number 88.
Well,
and
again,
that's a 1st down.
They're throwing the football to try to get that Bishop Feehan defense loosened up a bit. You mentioned earlier that they have a number with their 4-3s, almost like a 4-4 set.
And I think we got a timeout by Feehan.
Yeah, Feehan, at this point, they're probably going to look to make some adjustments defensively. They'll have to loosen up a bit to take away some of this passing from Attleboro. But once they do that, that's going to open up some opportunities for Palermo in the backfield to get some running room. And obviously, that's what Attleboro wants to do. They want to get Palermo any kind of
they want to get him the football
Definitely.
and give him a little bit of daylight. No question.
Be sure to tune in every weekend for Comcast Varsity Sports Zone. If you want some of the region's best hard-hitting action in high school football, keep it tuned to CN8 and get in the zone.
We've already seen a lot of very good football this season, and we have another good one on our hands tonight.
So this is anytime you have these crosstown rivals, and Trina mentioned it in the open, there's just so much emotion involved that oftentimes it can work for a team or it can work against a team. If you get too hyped up, you start making mistakes, you start getting over anxious, or it can really make you play your best. And I think that's why, to me, this is more of a coach's game than many of the others we've had.
You know, Bishop Feehan had their 26-game winning streak snapped earlier this year when they lost to North Attleboro. They've got 2 losses this year. Both losses, one was by a 29-27 count to North Attleboro. Tabor Academy beat them 29-28. Right. So they're close to still being perfect this season, although they do have the 2 outs. 1st and 10 on the 1st down throw to Palermo, and there's going to be a flag. Yeah. McCoy a little early, and Palermo will draw the flag.
Well, believe me, McCoy should not be angry about that. That was the only play he had because he had committed a little early, and by doing that, if he had not interfered, Palermo very well may have gotten this one and been gone. Watch the end of the play. You're going to see number 7, McCoy, come up. You see, now, if he didn't get Palermo and Palermo got that football, there's nothing down the sideline at all.
Absolutely. Except 6 points.
So that's probably one of those penalties that you sort of don't mind having because you made a mistake by committing a little too early.
If he goes by him and catches the football, see you later. So now the ball in Bishop Feehan territory at the 48-yard line. A little over 10 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. 10:19 left, or excuse me, in the first half here in quarter number 2. 1st and 10 for Attleboro now at the 48 of Bishop Feehan. The draw play to Creamer, and he gets hammered by Kane. Or excuse me, that was Greg Moore, the left side linebacker, number 35, who dropped him for a 2-yard loss.
I think what's happening for the Bishop Feehan defense, watch, again, the shotgun formation is allowing Bishop Feehan to really rush the quarterback, which at the same time takes away your running angles. As you mentioned, excellent play by Moore, 5'9", 195
well,
junior.
when you do that play out of a shotgun, it's not like a draw play,
No,
right?
not at
There's
all.
no deception to it, and the only thing you can hope is that the rushers are on the outside and he has a lane on the inside. 2nd and 12 now, back at midfield. Dunner again working out of the shotgun, rolling right, looking to throw. Now he's just going to get rid of it, throw it away. Under some heavy pressure at the end of that play from Brandon Fontaine, number 24, and he just threw that one away to bring up 3rd and 12.
Again,
And not a bad choice.
Well, nowhere to go. Good coverage in the backfield, defensive backfield for Bishop Feehan. But again, with Dunner rolling that far to the sideline, eventually he's going to run out of room. And as you mentioned, made the good choice to not take the big loss.
Or try to throw into traffic and get an interception.
Yeah, it was really good coverage by Bishop Feehan.
So 3rd and 12 at midfield.
You got Palermo in the slot.
Palermo in the slot to the near side on 3rd and 12. Dunner, quarterback draw, and he's not going to get anywhere. They smelled that one out too. It'll be 4th and 12. Right now, let's go down to the sidelines and Trina Fernandez.
Thanks, Rich. Well, I'll tell you, before the game, Rich, you and I were both talking to both head coaches, and we had a chance to talk to Coach Jack Peavy. And Rich, I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around the two different personalities that I've seen thus far tonight. The calm, nice, gentle man that we talked to before the game has become quite a different personality now. The minute that headset went on, he is just out of control. He's very intense and animated, to say the least. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of a bad play if I were a Bishop Feehan player. Back to you, Rich.
Thanks very much, Trina. Jack Peavy, very, very personable in conversation before tonight's game. And of course, he did ask me if we'd have microphones on the sidelines. He was
said, how far away from me, right?
Right, exactly. He was worried that he might say something he would regret later.
Not only is it Halloween, but most coaches do not mind admitting to being a Jekyll and Hyde type personality.
It's very, very true. 8:48 to go, first half. 1st and 10 for the Shamrocks. Bishop Feehan right at their own 24-yard line. McAllis on the delay, right up the middle, has good yardage, and he's out over the 30-yard line and has 7 or 8 more. He's had a good first half.
He really has. Quick hitting plays, a single back set. I think this is an important, this is McAllis, the running back. I think this is an important series defensively for Attleboro because you watch this replay, you see McAllis, and as you mentioned, gets to the line of scrimmage quickly, gets where he can. Smith sort of rides him down, but Bishop Feehan with that first almost easy touchdown to open the game has a chance to sort of reestablish the momentum of the game if they can get a nice long drive here.
Gain of 9. They haven't really thrown to Conway much so far tonight. 2nd and 1, and the keeper by McCoy, and he's going to be brought down very close to a first down. Don Smith, big number 68 in on the stop, the left defensive end. 6'3" and 215, a junior.
He has the first down.
Yep, he only needed 1, so.
This is the time in the part of the field where you may want to see him go for Conway.
Talked about keys for Attleboro. Kevin Deschaines told us they need to stop McCoy and Conway. McCoy can run and throw the football. Conway, of course, the big play receiver, and he said we can't give up the big play. You know, we need to play well defensively. So far, they've done that here in the first half.
Well, Chris Palermo's playing Conway man to man.
He gave it to the fullback, Vazakis, and he's not going to get much.
I'm not sure if it was going to be a give. Looked like the quarterback was trying to pull it back out, and the fullback kept it. It's an option type play where the quarterback puts in the fullback's stomach and then decides if he's going to
leave it there or
pull it back. And the way the quarterback was sort of following the fullback along, looked like he was trying to pull it back but couldn't quite get it.
Maybe Vazakis said, I don't get
I'll
this
take
much.
This anyway.
I'll take it. He got 2 yards. Under 7 minutes to go, first half. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. Come back with more of our second quarter. 7-0 Bishop Feehan. Shotgun formation. On 2nd and 8, McCoy under some pressure, lets it go. Incomplete. Conway had it go right through his hands, and he probably would have had a first down. Boy, Ralph Nunez, number 24 on the coverage, but Conway wide open.
He was open. It was a delay across the middle for Conway.
He just dropped it.
Yeah, just dropped that one. His first opportunity for the night. Some late pressure on the quarterback, McCoy. But he's a well-thrown ball.
So 3rd down and 8 now for Bishop Feehan with 6:50 to go here in the first half. Conway wide to the top of your screen this time. Matt Kinch is in the slot to the top of your screen. 2 receivers to the bottom of your screen. McAllis, the lone setback. McCoy wants to throw. Does. Incomplete. Intended along the near sideline for Brandon Fontaine. It'll be 4th down.
Very close to interception by Chris Palermo, who's actually had a good first half.
Yeah, he really has.
We mentioned the fact that Conway hadn't been thrown too much in the first half, and on most of those plays, Chris Palermo had him man-to-man with not any help.
So Conway will punt it away. Let's try to spot this one. Line of scrimmage, the 37.
37, yeah.
All right. And Conway to punt again. His first punt was 52. This one a little shorter. Fair catch. And fallen on by Chris Palermo. Almost fumbled that one away, but he had to come up quickly to make the catch and be pretty decent field position. Not as good a kick this time for Conway, as the ball's actually spotted at the 32.
They caught it about the 30, so.
All right.
38 yards. Didn't get all that one, definitely.
Nope.
Didn't see a turnover in the air.
So Attleboro has it back, trailing 7-0.
Attleboro has to be happy with their defense the last couple of series.
No question.
They've been able to sort of stem the tide from that first easy, well, short and easy 16-yard drive from the only score so far.
So 1st and 10 now at the 32. This time,
a little confusion in the backfield for Attleboro.
They go back to tight end situation. Nunez in motion. Palermo, the call off the left side, trying to break it outside, and coming up Conway, number 9, makes the stop. And a short gain for Mike Palermo. We saw him 2 weeks ago. He had 182 yards in the win over New Bedford. Last week, as you mentioned earlier, 186 yards on 31 carries. Here's another carry here tonight.
Again, just not much running room. Anytime a team is keying on a running back, it's really, well, it's not easy, but it's very consistent that you're going to have linebackers and your safeties watching for the handoff to that particular player, and that's a perfect case of it because Conway, the safety, came up and helped make that tackle.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8 at the 34. Again, Nunez in motion. This time to give to the fullback Kramer. And he's only going to get a couple more out close to the 35, or it'll bring up 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, fullback just has not had much.
No, and in that game against New Bedford, every time he carried, he got 5 or 6 yards, it seemed. He always seemed to have a pretty good gain, and he always seemed to catch New Bedford off balance.
Well, one of the things emotionally for Bishop Feehan, rather, you mentioned the fact that they've been to Super Bowls recently. That is an emotional advantage for high school level players. They know they're good.
Yep.
They expect to win.
That's Larkin in motion, incomplete. Dunner hit as he threw it, intended for Leach, who was open in the right flat.
Yeah, Rob McCourt.
4th down.
Yeah, the Rover at that time came on the blitz and forced Dunner to throw the ball long before he really wanted to, because he had a wide receiver open in the flat. Watch 20, top of the screen, number 20 right there. He's going to come in and force the pass way short, as you see Leach out there. Stefan had some room because the cornerback had backed off the play.
So 4th and 8, just shy of the 35-yard line. Matt Kinch standing at his own 33, awaiting the punt from Derek Johnson. Good snap this time, pressure, and just got it off. High kick, Kinch calls for the fair catch and makes it out over the 40, right at about the 42-yard line. Pretty good job, too, to make that fair catch.
Really had to, because he had one of his teammates, one of his blockers, wasn't aware the ball was so close to him. Good job by Kinch to check that one.
The only score in this football game after a very bad opening series by Attleboro where they went back 15 yards and had to punt out of their own end zone. And then the short punt, it was a 16-yard drive. Kyle McAllis, a 5-yard touchdown run at 7:48 of the opening quarter. That's where we stand, 7-0. As Bishop Feehan has it back, McAllis the call on first down, has a nice seam and good yardage out over midfield into Attleboro territory as he's got 8 or 9 more.
I like the way he gets to the line of scrimmage so quickly. Gets out of the stance. Watch it again. You see McAllis. He'll be flying to the line of scrimmage by the time he gets his hand off. There he goes. And again, this keep hopping on the sides up front for Bishop Feehan. What that means is all you really need is a little bit of a block and let McAllis pick where he's going to go.
4.5 minutes to go first half. Matt Doherty, the tight end, now switches to the left side. McAllis gets the call again, trying to pick his spots, has a first down as he gets inside the 45 down to the 44-yard line. So Bishop Feehan can take their time here with 4.5 minutes to go. They can continue to run the football late in the first half, leading by a touchdown.
They would love to have a long, sustained drive, eat up most of this final 4 minutes, and have a 2-score lead by halftime.
Of course, we've only seen actually them throw to Conway, the big play receiver, averaging 29 yards a catch. You mentioned the 6 touchdowns. He's only had the 1 throw.
And he's out here single coverage against Chris Palermo.
Down to the bottom of your screen, number 9. 1st and 10 at the 44. They give to McAllis. This time, stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Looked like Andrew DeForest, big number 79, got the penetration and the initial hit, and then some help from his friends.
One of the few times we've seen the Attleboro's front 4 shed the block and make the initial hit. Watch DeForest, as you mentioned, 79. Right of your screen is going to make the first hit right there. It doesn't knock him down, but gets some help. As coming in is Nick Mooney. One of the few times we've seen McAllis stop for a very short gain.
Call it a gain of 1, 2nd and 9, 3:25 to go first half. Just inside the 44 at the 43. Messenger in motion. McCoy wants to throw, looking for Conway near sideline, and he makes the catch. Brought down by Chris Palermo at the 10-yard line.
Good concentration. That was excellent concentration by Conway because, again, Palermo actually had good, decent coverage. I think he either lost the ball in the air or just didn't look all the way back. Watch, it's a straight fly pattern. And watch number 4 for Attleboro. Looks back, but by that time, Conway already has it. Gets down to about the 5-yard line.
Yep. Conway at 6'3", Palermo at 5'5", so clearly had a big height advantage.
I was waiting for him to take advantage. It's been one-on-one coverage almost the entire night.
Ball just inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. McAllis off left tackle, and he's got pretty good yardage inside the 5, but a flag down. All the way back near the original line of scrimmage.
Might be offside on Attleboro, actually.
It is.
Yeah, someone lined up.
I got old Eagle Eye up in the booth.
Well, what happened? You know, you can usually tell because if it's the linesman or the line judge throwing the flag, if they allow the play to go on, it's usually on the defense.
Right.
If they stop the play right away, it's usually procedure against offense. So, and I think at this point, Attleboro is a little back on the heels, so a couple of their players probably a little anxious trying to get into that neutral zone and a little too close to the line of scrimmage.
Ball spotted right at about the 4-yard line, just inside the 4 at the 3.
Yeah, McAllis a couple more times should give Feehan the second touchdown.
2:37 to go first half. Clock running. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. Bishop Feehan leading 7-0, trying to add some more on top of it. Pitch back. McAllis trying the left side. Touchdown. Again, there's another one you could have scored on.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, he's a good runner, first of all. It all starts with that. But when you have blocking up front, like they've had so far with Payne and Liberdoni, Cuomo, Casanello, and Benatti, those are some big kids who are moving bodies out. So out on that side was the left side, which is Dave Payne, who you mentioned earlier, one of the captains.
And being highly recruited by some big-time football schools. So Conway for the extra point out of the hold of McCoy. And that is up, and it is good. 14-0 Bishop Feehan with 2:22 to go in the first half.
And again, this Conway just made the extra point, but he had also the key play of that drive, that long pass reception to set everything up for the touchdown. Watch McAllis in this touchdown. Simple pitch, He's going to have the running back in front of him doesn't even get touched. The entire corner was
completely
taken
sealed.
out. Yep. Right, everything.
So Attleboro still has plenty of time with 2:22 to go here in the first half. See if they can get some decent field position off the run back, off the kickoff. But again, Conway does the kicking off, and he's, as we've seen tonight, puts the ball inside the 5 each time.
That makes it tough to get a good return.
And twice they've kicked off here tonight, actually 3 times. And on all the occasions, this will be the 3rd one. But on the first 2 occasions, they've been able to bring the receiver down back inside the 15-yard line.
Right, and that makes it really tough. Because
or close to the, it was a 16 the first time, and I think the 13 the second time.
And what that does, in Attleboro's case for their offense, it really limits the kind of plays you can use, because you already know that Feehan defensively is keying on Mike Palermo, the tailback, so you try to do some other things. There's Leach back there. Stephon had a long pass reception earlier in the game.
Yep, he's back there along with Chris Palermo as they stand inside the 5. Conway has it teed up. And this one all the way into the end zone, and Leach is just going to let it go for a touchback. Well, you don't see that often in high school.
No, and he's consistent with it too. You mentioned that earlier. Clearly a major college prospect as a junior. Good size too. Was he 6'3", 190?
Yep. So let's see what Attleboro wants to do. We've seen them in the shotgun for most of the first half, but the last series they went back to the pro I.
Well, the problem, again, field position is not that great, and you don't want to make a mistake with about 2:22 to go in the half to give Bishop Feehan any other opportunities. Obviously, you want to strike quickly if you have the opening.
Now they're going to go back to the shotgun. Creamer the lone setback on 1st and 10 at the 20. Dunner rolling near side. Lays it out there. It's incomplete. In the neighborhood was Matt Shepperson, but it'll be 2nd down. Heavy pressure as Dunner was running for his life. As Jack Peavy shouts into his defense. There he is.
He has to be feeling a little better with this 2-touchdown lead. Well,
how'd you like Jack Peavy's legacy so far here? This is his 4th year. He's been to 3 Super Bowls. 13-0 Division IV Super Bowls last year. He had a 26-game unbeaten streak snapped by North Attleboro earlier this year. Pretty good start for the guy.
Oh, yeah. And as you mentioned before, the only 2 losses, 1 point and 2 points.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a couple of plays from being unbeaten again this year. 2nd and 10, long count by Dunner. Trying to find some time, throws down the field for Leach, incomplete. Messenger back on the coverage, number 12. It looked like the ball was a little overthrown.
It was. He got some late pressure as he tried to buy some time, but watch how Bishop Feehan this time just really has him corralled, doesn't allow him to get outside either time, and just throws it downfield. Luckily, Leach only has single coverage, and it wasn't picked off.
The problem here, Alan, with 2:10 to go in the half, they put it up again, it's incomplete. They're going to kick the football back to Feehan, and they're going to have pretty good field position with a little less than 2 minutes to go in the half.
That's definitely the chance you take when you start throwing the ball to try to get a quick score.
3rd and 10, Attleboro trailing by 2 touchdowns. They're going to give it to Palermo, trying to break some tackles, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
And Feehan will take a timeout. They want to.
Yep, with 2:03 to go in the half. Matt Kinch will go back in single safety. Mike Palermo's been slowed to a crawl here in this first half.
You see on the 3rd and 10, fakes the fullback, trying a bit of a counter play, but again, anytime a team as good as Feehan is really concentrating and just watching for number 21, Palermo, he's not going to have a whole lot of room.
No gain. Derek Johnson's been under some pressure as he'll get ready to punt this one away. Kinch standing at midfield. So Bishop Feehan figures to get pretty good field position. Good snap. Johnson has time. It's in kind of a short wobbler heading for the far sideline. It'll be down inside the 40 at about the 38 with 1:54 to go in the first half.
Yeah, Attleboro needs to watch out for Conway here because with, as you mentioned, 154, that's plenty of time for a couple of passes, both short and long. Conway obviously has gotten himself into the game now with that big catch in the last series.
Yeah, well, you know with a kid that talented, it's just a matter of time. He's a terrific-looking young man. Terrific-looking football player.
So Attleboro has to try to prevent any more scoring before halftime, give themselves a chance to regroup.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line for John McCoy. Shotgun formation. Time. Throws. Incomplete.
Good pressure that time.
Skip that one in there. Intended for Brandon Fontaine and Chris Palermo on the coverage.
They came with a blitz. Attleboro did. Derek Ross coming around from the right linebacker spot actually got a hand on McCoy as he was throwing the football.
Minute 50 to go in the first half. 2nd and 10. I tell you, it's a beautiful night here on Halloween for football.
Really, really good here at Attleboro. It'll probably be a little colder, but it's good for the players. They're able to.
Well, we had enough cold last week. We deserve a break. Again, McCoy out of the shotgun. Looking for Messenger. Incomplete at about the 10-yard line. He was behind a couple of defenders. Cloutier along with
Cloutier was
Larkin back on the coverage.
Well, what happened, Jesse Cloutier looked to be the main coverage guy, but as you mentioned, Larkin came over a bit late. The ball was just overthrown. Otherwise, he was wide open for a big gain.
Minute 45 to go in the first half. 3rd and 10. And this is a key defensive series for Attleboro.
Definitely.
I mean, they have to keep Bishop Feehan off the scoreboard. Remember, they received the opening kickoff, so Bishop Feehan will get the football to start the second half, and they already lead by 2 touchdowns. Big 3rd down right here at the 38 of Attleboro. 3rd and 10. Again, McCoy out of the shotgun. 4 receivers out in the pattern. McCoy with time. Going down the right sideline for Kinch. Makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. What a catch by Matt Kinch. 5'9", 162-pound senior.
Seems that when the running backs or the wing backs are coming out of the backfield, the linebackers for Attleboro are picking them up. You see, Kinch is on the wing on the left side. Good time. And as McCoy rolls, good touch on this one, and Kinch goes up, and the good job to dive and make that catch. And again, linebacker coverage.
29-yard completion, and it's 1st and goal at the 9-yard line now. And a timeout for Bishop Feehan as McCoy heads back into the huddle with the play from head coach Jack Peavy. Peavy in his 4 years here, Alan, 36, 4, and 3.
It's been a strong program, very strong program.
In his first 3 years, he only lost 2 games.
I think, okay, Attleboro takes a timeout. Bishop Feehan used their final timeout right before that play. Now Attleboro is going to take a timeout.
As you look at the Blue Bombardier defense huddled up with their coaches along the far sideline.
They really have to come up with some big plays now. They're back on their heels. As you mentioned, already down 14-0 here near the end of the first half, and just have not been able to do much offensively to get near a score.
No, they had the one drive after they got the roughing the penalty, roughing the punter penalty.
But again, they turned it over on downs as they couldn't.
Yeah, they got down to the 25.
That 4th down pass in the end zone.
Exactly.
They went out of bounds.
Well, Leach had the catch, but he was about a yard beyond the end line, the back of the end zone.
So right now, the job is defense. And early in the series, they actually put some linebacker pressure. They brought Derek Ross, the right linebacker, on a blitz. But again, when you start blitzing your linebackers, that gives some one-on-one coverage. And McCoy is a good enough quarterback as a senior to find the receiver who may be open or who may have that single coverage. And they've had a couple of good completions. That big 3rd down completion to Kinch has kept this drive alive.
So 1st and goal now at the 9-yard line. Looking to throw, McCoy has his man, complete, touchdown, Matt Doherty. The tight end was wide open.
That was a formation touchdown because Attleboro was fooled on that one. Chris Palermo was actually stuck out there trying to cover 2 players. That's both Kinch and the tight end Doherty.
So McCoy will hold for Conroy to make it 21-0. The spot to boot, it is up, and it is good. That's a little bit of a backbreaker right there.
That's exactly what Attleboro did not want to see happen. But again, that was what we talked about when they got the ball. Watch the touchdown. You're going to see number 4, Chris Palermo, by himself with 2 receivers out there. You see him right there, and the tight end was a deeper one, Doherty, for the touchdown. There's Palermo, second look. Clearly the linebacker gets fooled on this and lets the tight end slide out there alone. And no one in sight for Attleboro.
I'll tell you, that's great camera work right there.
It really is, because it shows just what we're talking about. I'm not sure if Attleboro had a blitz coming or if they just allowed, if someone just missed Doherty, but that's exactly what the result is when you have a formation that you don't recognize, and or if it gets wrong.
We still have a minute 32 to go in the first half.
Well, because they were throwing the ball, using timeouts, and
right, sure.
That's efficiency.
Yeah.
Bishop Feehan, obviously they scored first in the first few minutes, but then it was sort of an even game until this last 5 minutes of the
Leach
contest.
and Chris Palermo back deep once again to receive this kickoff from Ron Conway. Conway gets his foot into it. This will be Chris Palermo at the 1. Looking to return right up the middle, trying to find some blocking, has some room, gets a good block, still on his feet over the 40, and a beautiful return all the way out to the 43-yard line with a minute 24 to go first half. That was a terrific return.
Good return. Well, it started out with the fact that the ball, for the first time, Conway didn't put it in the end zone. Watch Palermo does a good job of making sure he has it. Then as he spots the left side opening up, just turns the jets on right here, gets away from his arm tackle, and is
McAllis
tracked down. Right.
And I'll tell you, if McAllis doesn't get an arm on him there, he had some room along the near sideline.
On the sideline there, right.
Yeah. So 1st and 10 at the 42. Mike Palermo gets the call, and again, like it's been the story of this first half, not much running room. Defensively, Greg Moore, the linebacker number 5, made the stop. Gain of, call it 2.
Attleboro has a lot of adjusting to do at halftime. They've been fooled on a couple of plays offensively, and then they have not been able to create any running room at all for Mike Palermo.
2nd and 8. Out of the I formation. That's Larkin in motion. Dunner wants to throw. Looking over the middle. Complete. And complete to his tight end, Cloutier, number 88, and a first down for Attleboro as they'll burn a timeout with 38 seconds.
You got a dead ball foul way in the backfield. Wow. On
Personal
Attleboro.
foul against Attleboro. Boy, that's a killer.
Unsportsmanlike. Someone obviously said something after the play. And
they would have had 1st and 10 at the Bishop Feehan 44.
They're going to keep first down. It's just that it's going to be back in their own territory.
Right.
They're going to walk off 15 yards. Again, I think it goes back to, we talked about it's a crosstown rivalry. A lot of these kids know each other. And, yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct. Definitely something was said because the play was long over.
Yep, and it didn't look like any correction.
No, nothing at all. It was definitely something said. The referee was right near the action and heard whatever was said and called the unsportsmanlike penalty. That's a killer for Attleboro because,
all the way
as you
back
mentioned,
at their own 40.
That had put them
at the 44 of Bishop Feehan instead of their own 41-yard line, we'll call it. 38 seconds to go in the half, 1st and 10. Actually, let's say that, 1st and 25.
Yes, 1st and 25. Yes.
Right? Back at their own 41-yard line.
Got double wides over here with Leach.
And looks like that's Larkin, Brendan Larkin, to the bottom of your screen.
Actually, it's going to be 1st and 10. It's a dead ball, so it should be 1st and 10. Right.
They had it 1st and 25, but I would have thought it would have been 1st and 10. Yep, now they've corrected it.
Yeah, you just lose the yardage, you don't.
Right. Right. So 38 seconds to go first half. delay to Palermo. And he does well to get a couple of yards. He just has not had any room here tonight.
He probably won't, as if they stay in this the basic I formation, because as I mentioned, the front four for Bishop Feehan has done an excellent job. Two of their co-captains are up there, Passanello and Payne.
They can get this play off. Time for one last play. 5 seconds to go in the half. Shotgun for Dunner. They get it off. He's just going to heave it down the right sideline for Leach. And it's intercepted by Messenger down at about the 25-yard line, and that'll do it here in the first half. So a very impressive half for Bishop Feehan, as they've been to the last 3 Division IV Super Bowls, and that first half an indication of why they've been so successful.
No doubt about that.
Very impressive half.
They started out, they took advantage of the misplays by Attleboro by getting their first touchdown, 16-yard drive. Then a bit of a lull as Attleboro got themselves into the game playing some decent defense, but these last 2 touchdowns, as we mentioned, within the last 5 minutes of the half, the passing to Conway, he finally came alive, and then, of course, the running from McAllis has this 3-touchdown lead.
All right now let's go down to the sidelines with Trina Fernandez.
Thank you, Rich. Well, Coach, your prediction was right on the money. Before the game, you told me you were a little slow to start, but once you got rolling, you could get in a groove. What's happening?
Well, we scored the first drive right out of the chute, and then we just got a little lax. We roughed the kicker, and then we got a little lackadaisical, and then we got back on track. So we've done it almost every game that way. Second quarter's been good to us.
The second quarter's good. You have to be happy with how your defense is performing against Palermo.
They're great. They've been really gang tackling the football right now. One time he slipped out, and that's going to happen once in a while against a good back, but we got to continue to contain him. We got them in a tough spot now with 21 points. They're going to have to throw, and you got a great back. You got to make a choice. You're going to run the clock, or we'll stay ahead, hopefully. We're going to pound the ball and run the clock out now.
So you like where you are right now?
Yeah, it's a good situation right now.
All right, well, maybe you can calm down a little bit, huh? All right. All right, guys. Well, that coach is one intense man, but he's fun to watch. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Trina. And Jack Peavy is an intense guy, as is his counterpart, Kevin Deschaines. So we'll take a timeout. Your halftime score, Bishop Feehan on top of Attleboro by 3 touchdowns. And welcome back to McGrath Stadium here at halftime. 21-0, Bishop Feehan on top at the half. The scoring in the first half, couple of touchdown runs by Kyle McAllis, and then, of course, the pass to the tight end for a touchdown, but it's really been all Shamrocks here in the first half.
It has. Let's watch these last 2 touchdowns, as it's going to be a pitch, as McAllis will go into the end zone, that left side untouched. Easy, looks easy.
3-yard touchdown run right there.
And the second one is a little more impressive to me, because somehow they're able to sneak the tight end out of the formation, have him wide open, as Chris Palermo from Attleboro was forced to try to cover 2 guys, and you're just not going to do that.
Nope.
And that ended up with the 3-touchdown lead.
That was Jesse Cloutier with Matt Doherty with the touchdown catch, and a nice pass from John McCoy. Your first half stats, I'm sure they show us pretty much in favor of the Shamrocks.
Top of the screen there, rushing yards, 34 for the Blue Bombardiers. They're not going to win much of anything if they only have that few rushing yards. Meanwhile, everything else, total yards, a bit of an edge for the Shamrocks, a lot of passing. Time of possession, the Shamrocks only had it 8 minutes, but they used those 8 minutes very well, scoring all 3 touchdowns, penalties even. So everything going Bishop Feehan's way right now.
All right, we'll take a timeout, come back with our second half of action. Your score at halftime, 21-0 Shamrocks. And welcome back to McGrath Stadium. Rich Levine along with Alan Platt. Our sideline reporter is Trina Fernandez. Our producer-director, Chris Larson, and our entire Comcast Varsity Sports Zone crew. Glad to have you with us as we begin quarter number 3. 21-0. Bishop Feehan Shamrocks, ranked number 12 in the Boston Globe top 20 coming into tonight's action at 4-2 on the season.
And you mentioned earlier those 2 losses by 1 point and by 2 points, so very easily could have been.
And by the way,
wins.
both of those games lost on 2-point conversions on the final play of the game. So they are just 2 plays away from being unbeaten.
You can't get much closer than that.
Nope.
But Attleboro was a big task this second half. I mean, first of all, they have to kick off. Then they have to stop the rushing and passing from Bishop Feehan. But I tell you, they're down 21-0 now, Attleboro is, and if they allow Feehan to score on this opening drive of the third quarter, then it could really be a long second half.
David Silvera has it teed up. Number 54, he'll be kicking deep. Nick Messenger, number 12. Matt Kinch, number 5, standing back in twin safety, but they're all the way out at the 15-yard line. So they expect a short kick from Silvera. They're set to go here in quarter number 3. The left-footed kicker gets into it. This will be Kinch at the 20. 30, has some room, and still on his feet all the way out over midfield and into Attleboro territory. Nice return from Matt Kinch.
Similar to what we saw at the end of the first half with Chris Palermo.
Right now, let's go to the sidelines and Trina Fernandez.
Thank you, fellas. Well, I caught up with Coach Deschaines coming out of the locker room, and he admits being down 3 isn't where he wanted to be right now, and they're going to have to go to the air a little more than they would like. But he said the key for them is their offensive line has got to block better for their running game and to open up some holes for Palermo, and then hopefully that will open up the air game as well. Now, he said that they saw a few things that they're hoping to exploit. The cryptic, we saw a few things that we're going to try to exploit in the second half, so we'll have to wait and see what those are. Back to you, Rich.
Thanks very much. Heavy pressure on John McCoy. And a flag goes down. McCoy just got it away, but let's see. We may have intentional grounding here.
Let's see, the referee actually threw the flag. He's the one with the call. Good pressure by Attleboro as
Jim Pereira,
really,
your referee tonight.
They really came after McCoy on that.
Boy, they sure did. Flag, and they're gonna wave it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were gonna try. It looked like he was gonna throw for intentional grounding, but watch the pressure from the left to right of the screen. Linebackers came. There's Smith right there, and
no, I didn't see any receiver anywhere near that football.
I think they were saying he was outside the tackle.
Okay.
So that's why he saw the referee go and ask the linesman where the quarterback was when he threw the ball. So.
Fair enough. 2nd and 10 at the 47-yard line of Attleboro, and they're going to make them huddle up again.
That could have been a huge break for Attleboro if, in fact, the intentional grounding had been called. It would have been in yardage and the down. But it's good to see an aggressive play defensively by Attleboro to start things out. They guessed right. They figured that for whatever reason McCoy was going to throw the football, and they went after him.
We had that very cold week up in Salem, New Hampshire last week. I don't know if you noticed, but the heat's on in the press box. I just wanted to mention that. I know it's not that cold, but there's a little heat coming out.
We're in great shape up here.
Taking good care of us tonight here at Bishop Feehan. 10:46 to go here, just underway in the third quarter. Bishop Feehan sitting on a 3-touchdown lead.
And Attleboro really, as we mentioned earlier, has to have a defensive stand here to get that ball back in the offense's hands.
They give to McAllis, trying the right side. Not much doing this time as he runs into big number Don Smith, number 68, and David Silvera, number 54, the left side of the defense.
Again, good play by the front line. They were sort of getting moved around and beat up a bit in the first half. Their front four for Attleboro, these first 2 plays the second half, they've been much more aggressive, and they're getting more help from the linebackers. The linebackers are much closer to the line of scrimmage, and as I mentioned, that first down play, they blitz. That second down play, they hit all the running gaps.
Well, the defense, despite the 3 scores, really didn't play that badly in the first half. The first touchdown drive lasted all of 16 yards. So 3rd down and 9 now at the 45.
Shotgun.
Shotgun for McCoy. Has time now. Chase. He's going to throw it long. Has Messenger out there. Completed the 10-5 touchdown. Nick Messenger, 5'10", 170-pound junior, takes it the distance.
I was just going to say, when you mentioned that Attleboro had played decently on defense, but they did give up some big key plays to allow Feehan to keep their drives alive and get those 3 touchdowns. And now, just like you said, the one thing that Attleboro did not want to have happen was a score on this first drive of the second half, and that's just what happens. I mean, give McCoy most of the credit on that, because by him rolling out,
Conway for the extra point, he's pretty much automatic.
Yeah, with Conway rolling out, like McCoy, I'm sorry, rolling out, he bought himself a lot of time. There was a blitz by Johnson, the inside linebacker, who overran McCoy. Let's watch this replay on shotgun. Watch McCoy, takes his time. Now he buys time right there. 34 is going to run by him as he misses him, and as he looks downfield, behind Palermo actually, and there's the good catch.
And nice catch, yep. And I'll tell you, McCoy was very close to the line of scrimmage, but clearly behind it, but he was very close when he let that ball go.
But again, when you're talking about a team that's been to Super Bowls back-to-back and just well-drilled, well-coached, on a play like that, almost all season we've seen penalties for illegal linemen downfield, or as you mentioned, the quarterback going too far, but those things just don't happen to teams that are well-drilled like this.
Yep. So it's 28-0 now as Conway tees it up. So he's kicked off a few times tonight.
Oh,
Leach and Palermo. Chris Palermo back deep. Leach.
Like anything
and
else.
Palermo at about the 5.
When you score a lot, you kick a lot, right?
Yeah, I guess so. And they got a terrific athlete and a terrific kicker in Ron Conway. Gets his foot into it, high end-over-end kick at the 6-yard line. This will be Stephon Leach. Leach trying to find a seam, and he's going to be hammered right at about the 15-yard line and then driven back. That looked like a rugby scrum.
Yeah, Leach ran on an angle, which didn't pick up much yardage, and then was caught in the pileup.
Well, if the blue...
Watch it again, you'll see the kick on the angle down to about the 6-yard line, but you see Leach running sort of on an angle across the field, not much yardage at all. And the coverage team for Feehan just piles everything up. So again, this is like the 5th time that Attleboro started
inside the
20-yard line.
Or deep inside the 20 on a couple of occasions.
You just can't do much offensively.
Nope, 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. They give to Mike Palermo. He's going to try the near side, and he's going to lose yardage. There just has been nothing there for the outstanding senior tailback Mike Palermo tonight. As you see the fans on the hand, and there's a little devil in the crowd.
That's right, Bishop Feehan. Halloween night, and they're
certainly enjoying it. We know it's the not the treat that Attleboro got tonight.
Not so far, anyway.
Nope, not to this point. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12, back at the 15. From Mike Dunner and the Blue Bombardier offense. Looks like he might be checking off. Wants to throw, rolling right. Lays it out there. Intercepted by McCoy along the far sideline. Intended for Larkin, but McCoy with great coverage picked it off.
Yeah, this is when things start going bad, they can really pile up. Watch this replay. You have Dunner, and I'm not sure because you're throwing into double coverage. And as you mentioned, he floated up there, which was this front and back coverage on your receiver right there. It was Conway, the safety, came over, but McCoy did a good job going up in the air and getting that interception.
Larkin tried to play defensive back, but McCoy just, he wasn't going to be denied.
Well, McCoy did a good job. He got his body in between the receiver and the ball and gave himself the chance to make the interception.
Shotgun formation for McCoy on 1st and 10 at the 35. And this is the draw play. McCoy's going to run it himself, quarterback draw, and he'll have a 1st down as he's inside the 30, inside the 25, down close to the 22-yard line.
Move the defense to the right and come back to the left. He actually faked a draw. I watched on the replay. He'll fake the draw to the fullback right here, McAllis. Then he takes it himself. It's a little counter action and has plenty of running room for a good first down.
So now the line of scrimmage at 22 with 8:35 to go here, third quarter. 1st and 10 for the Shamrocks. And now a timeout. McCoy looked like he was trying to change the play. And right now, let's go down to the sidelines and the third member of our broadcast crew, Trina Fernandez.
Thanks, Rich. I want to talk a little bit about John McCoy, the quarterback for Bishop Feehan. Now, Peavy, is very high on this kid. He thinks he's one of the best quarterbacks in Eastern Mass. He said that he's being recruited by the Atlantic 10 Conference, and he's leaning towards the University of Rhode Island. They said that they play his type of offense. He's got 121 yards tonight, 1,400 yards last year with 13 touchdown passes. So he had quite a season last year, and we're hoping he continues that this season. Back to you, Rich.
Thanks very much, Trina. 1st and 10 at the 22. And the give right up the middle. And that was the fullback, Anthony Vazakis. That was his second carry tonight, Alan. The other one, remember earlier when he wouldn't give the ball back to the quarterback?
Yeah, he kept it. It took a while to get another one, so guess he learned his lesson.
Yeah. He's got good yardage.
This is an impressive Bishop Feehan team, though.
Yeah, they really are.
As I mentioned, the second, there's going to be a penalty again.
It's going to be illegal substitution, I believe. As Vazakis came to the sideline, but
you can't break the huddle
with 12 men, right, exactly. So after a gain of 6, they'll move him back 5.
So he gained it and then gave it back, right?
I guess.
So for Bishop, see what sets up for Bishop Feehan now. They, as you mentioned, they're 4-2, and if they can continue with this one 5-2, they'll, with the rest of their schedule, they have an outside chance of getting back into the postseason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, they're unbeaten in the EAC. They'll be 4-0 after tonight's ballgame. So 2nd down and 9. McCoy looking to throw, incomplete. His receiver, Brandon Fontaine, wasn't even looking for the football, and it fell incomplete. Fontaine, number 24. Might have ran the wrong route.
Actually, again, is supposed to be a quick run out to the flat.
Yeah,
you see the receiver didn't turn around. So
yep, or he turned the wrong way.
If he turned back inside, the ball probably would have been on target. See Coach Peavy must be yelling at the receiver.
3rd and 9 now at the 21. McCoy on the slant, Conway, the catch, and very close to first down yardage near the 11. And it will be a first down.
Let's watch this replay from ground level. You'll see quick slant pass. Good coverage, but the pass was right on the money.
That's a nice catch and a nice throw, and good defense, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Chris Palermo's actually, he's been beaten a few times downfield with these passes from Conway, but he's actually had some good coverage.
Yes, he has. And I would say to you, he's probably covering one of the more dangerous receivers in Eastern Mass. And now we get a timeout. Feehan burns another timeout. It's a 20-second timeout.
I'm not sure what's happening with the offensive set, but they burn a couple of quick timeouts.
Now when you're up 28-0, you can't feel too bad.
Tune in tomorrow when the next wave of women's tennis superstars are on CN8, competing in the Advanta Tennis Championships. The doubles finals are up first at 2:30 p.m. Then at 7 p.m. is the singles finals. It's a great day of tennis right here on CN8.
McAllis right up the middle, another touchdown. Kyle McAllis, his 3rd touchdown of the evening.
Yeah, if you're on the Attleboro sideline, it's going from bad to worse.
Yep.
But you have to give Bishop Feehan credit. They've taken advantage of all the mistakes that Attleboro has made. And they've also created some opportunities for themselves.
Yeah, and they've won the kicking game decisively, especially the punting game. And here's a fake. Conway trying to get to the far corner of the end zone, does easily. So it's 36-0 after the 2-point conversion.
That was a case of just seeing the speed from Conway.
Boy, you could see it right there. He just outran a couple of guys to the near corner of the end zone.
It looked like they actually had an angle on him. Let's watch the touchdown. You'll see McAllis again, who's had a very impressive night. But again, the good blocking up front makes it so easy.
You know, we were talking off camera, but during one of the breaks or at halftime, that's another case of a run where he's been 5, 6, 7, 8 yards downfield before he's even been touched.
Right. The blocking up front, and we mentioned the names a number of times, led by one of the captains, Dave Payne. And a lot of it's been on that left side. McAllis has predominantly run to the left side behind Payne and left guard Dave Liberdoni. Good size, 265 for Payne, 280, okay, for the guard. And when they're moving their guys that well, then McAllis just picks his gap.
Yep. So Attleboro will get it back, trailing 36-0 with 6:43 to go here, third quarter, as Conway has it teed up once again. Leach and Chris Palermo standing back at about their own 5-yard line. This will be Leach at about the 9, fumbles the football, picks it up, and he's going to get hammered at about the 17-yard line. So again, Attleboro will start behind their 20-yard line.
If you coach Kevin DeSange at this point, you just want your Attleboro players to just keep playing hard. A little lack of concentration here as you see Leach have a bounce. Luckily, you get it back, but by the time he gets himself set up, no momentum at all going forward, and he just gets buried.
19-yard line is the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10 for the Blue Bombardiers. Be nice to see him get a drive put together here. First downs, use up some clock, maybe get some points on the board.
Right, because it's been a very frustrating night for their offense. They just haven't done anything right.
I formation on 1st and 10. Long count. Dunner gives to Mike Palermo, following his blockers, and breaks outside and has about 5 yards. And that's one of his better runs here this evening.
Yeah, I think
that's how good the Bishop Feehan defense has been.
When you have a good team and they're going to key on a guy, here you see Palermo finally finding a little bit of room, and even with all that, as you mentioned, it's just a 5-yard gain.
Call it a gain of 6.
Yeah.
2nd and 4. Out at the 25. Palermo's going to try the near side. Trying to find the sideline, no room there. Conway comes up, gets help from Brandon Fontaine, number 9 and number 24. They might have got a yard. It'll be 3rd down.
And again, what's impressive is Conway's the free safety. You'll see him come from the left side of your screen, number 9. The speed and the size from Feehan is what's really bottling up Palermo, because usually if you have a big defense, they're strong and they're tough inside, but
maybe not quick,
exactly.
But fast.
But
right.
We're seeing both from Bishop Feehan tonight.
Yep.
And again, because Conway as the free safety can help to watch Palermo, he's coming up making a lot of tackles.
3rd and 3 at the 26. They give it to Palermo again.
A good effort.
And
really
he fights hard, and he's going to have a 1st down, I believe, at the 30.
Like that effort from Palermo.
Boy,
that's what I was talking
yep.
about, because oftentimes when you see teams down 36-0 in the second half, they stop putting their heads down,
right.
and they just go through the motions. But instead, Palermo, watch, he stopped right there, but as he keeps spinning, gets over the yard line, that gives him the 1st down.
So 1st and 10 at the 30 now, with under 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Bombardiers out of the eye. They give to the fullback, and Creamer gets hammered after a short gain. Maybe a yard.
That may have been the first time they actually tried the option play with Dunner. And he gave the ball to the fullback. Again, short yardage, almost. Well,
actually,
maybe
no
one.
gain.
Yeah.
No gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. As you look at the Shamrocks sideline.
Very.
McAllis right in the middle of your screen, as he had a really big night with 3 touchdown runs. So 2nd and 10 now. Here's the option, the pitch back to Palermo. And he's not going to break the 2nd tackle as he's brought down right near the line of scrimmage.
First time we've seen the option with the pitch to Palermo. One of the ways to try to get him out in some open space.
And guess who made the tackle?
Conway again.
Mr. Conway. Yep. Well, he's a guy who's making his presence felt not only on both sides of the ball, but in the kicking game as well.
Well, he reads so well, and he has the speed to be able to get to those spots.
So 3rd down and 9 now at the 31. Shepperson in motion. Dunner wants a throw, and he's going to be sacked. Never had a chance to get it off, and frustrated, he flings the football, and a flag goes down. Took exception to something.
Yeah, Dunner's really frustrated.
And another flag.
That one's on. If the first one wasn't on Dunner, that's on Dunner. If they're both on Dunner, he's out of the game. So the first flag was the referee in the backfield. Let's watch the play. Dunner simply gets sacked as he's trying to go deep downfield to Leach. No chance at all. Linebacker coming up to make the tackle. Now after the play, I'm not sure if something was said or what, but there you see the flag go from
I think that was on Dunner too, by the way. The first flag.
He's out there. Can't get 2 on 1 play.
And the officials discussing it right now.
The linesman came in as Dunner was leaving the field, and
he clearly said something to one of the Bishop Feehan players, and they're discussing exactly whether or not he will be able to stay in the game, or whether his night is over. They mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Jared Little, the backup who played 2 weeks ago in their win over New Bedford, after Dunner got hurt on the first play from scrimmage. Here's James Pereira. Personal foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Attleboro. 4th down, and they're going to march this football back a ways. And he was ejected from the game.
Yeah, you get the personal foul and the unsportsmanlike. You're usually going to get bounced. You see the linesman explaining it to Coach Kevin Deschaines. Just a tough evening. There's no other way to describe it. I mean, Bishop Feehan comes in, home field. They've played well, as you mentioned, the last few years, and they've had a good season this year. A bigger team with the big wide receiver. Good schemes up front as far as getting some room for the running back McAllis, and the game gets out of hand. The Attleboro sideline gets pretty frustrated, as I mentioned.
You know,
you see the evidence with Dunner.
Not that it's any consolation to Attleboro, but I often have this sports argument, that sometimes I think it's, if you're going to lose a game, the games that are tougher to get over is when you lose in the last second by a point or two. In a game that coulda, shoulda, woulda game, where you should have won, could have won, might have won.
No, there's
as
nothing. As
opposed to a game where you clearly got beaten by a team that was just better than you.
There's nothing tonight that would give Attleboro any thought about anything other than just getting outplayed.
Yep. So the punt from Derek Johnson is going to take a bounce, fielded by Kinch at about the 40, near sideline, and he'll be brought down inside the 30. And again, as it's been the story all night, great field position for Bishop Feehan. Right now we'll take a quick timeout. Third quarter score, 36-0 Shamrocks. And welcome back. New quarterback, Mike Montagna, is the quarterback for Bishop Feehan. And a new tailback as well as Jay Bornstein gets the carry. I think it's time to pull out the roster, my friend.
Yes. We have an entire backup unit in there for Bishop Feehan on offense.
So Jay Bornstein with his first carry of the night. And again, Mike Montagna. Excuse me. The new quarterback. Pitch back, Bornstein. And he's going to be brought down for a loss, and flags go down. This looks like it might be against the Shamrocks.
Yeah, some holding in the middle of the line there. We look back on this and think about how the game got out of hand. That's sequence the end of the second quarter, because as you have it here, they scored late in the second quarter, Bishop Feehan did, and then right after that, Attleboro had a 3-and-out throwing the football.
Trying to
gave Bishop Feehan the ball back again. They scored right before halftime.
Yep. And it was a 3-touchdown game at halftime. Looking to throw, and wrapped up and brought down is Montagna.
Yeah, Ron Smith get in there.
No, it's nice to see the Attleboro kids still playing hard.
Well, at this point, there's some pride involved. Like I mentioned, both teams are in Attleboro. There you see Smith's 68, one of the few times he's been able to get. And again, this is the backup front line for Bishop Feehan. So
I'll tell you, Smith pulled 2 guys down.
Yeah,
he pulled Mike Bernardo, the right tackle, and the quarterback down. Did you see that?
Yeah, we mentioned before. I said before the game, Smith impressed me when they played New Bedford.
Yep.
He's the junior defensive end, and he also plays tackle on offense. So, on the few times he's been able to get in and make a play.
Big loss, too, after the holding penalty and the sack. And now it's holding on the call against Attleboro. Wow, I didn't even see a flag on that play.
I didn't see a flag either. I'm not sure what.
Kevin Deshane's on the far sideline, just kind of beside himself.
A little confusing.
Wow. So that wipes out
unless
the sack.
Unless it happened downfield with one of the receivers, which is possible. Yeah, it's possible that downfield one of the defensive backs may have grabbed hold to a Bishop Feehan receiver.
2nd and 14 at the 30 after the penalty. The give to the fullback, getting the call that time, was Tom Nolan. So it'll bring up 3rd and long. So 3rd and about 14 now. Call it 3rd and 13 at the 29 after a gain of 1. See if they're going to put it in the air. The delay, and Bornstein gets buried for a loss. Derek Ross in on the stop, number 80. Cloutier also there.
Let's watch Ross get tied up, as you mentioned, the delay call. And the 2 linebackers coming in defensively, Ross and Cloutier, on a run blitz.
So it'll be 4th down, and for the first time tonight, we'll see, or maybe the 2nd time or 3rd time tonight, we'll see Bishop Feehan punt the football.
That's the end of the period.
End of the 3rd quarter. All right. We'll take a timeout, come back for quarter number 4. It's been all Bishop Feehan to this point. And welcome back. There's the man, Jack Peavy. On the left of your screen, has to be very pleased with the way his football team has played tonight. As we begin the fourth quarter, the Shamrocks will have to punt the football away.
Try for a field goal.
Actually, they're going to try for a field goal. You're right.
It's going to be a 50-yard attempt.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Conway has the leg. I watched him in warm-ups.
Unless they fake it.
McCoy, the holder. It'll be a 50-yard field goal. It is up.
Just to the
and
side.
Just off to the left, but plenty
of leg.
He had the leg.
I was just going to say, he had
plenty
the leg for it.
I mean, he had that by 5-8 yards.
Just hooked it a bit. And we talked about him in the open.
If you think about it, if he did punt the ball, it would have been 20 yards behind the goalpost.
Right. Probably wouldn't be able to find it, huh? He's over there in the woods. But for Attleboro offense, they just want to get something going, be able to leave.
They did have a first down on that last drive, but they'd like to put together a long, sustained march and get some points.
Yeah, they may have a chance because we're seeing a number of backup plays now on defense for Bishop Feehan, and that's when you obviously have a better chance to move the ball. And a new quarterback.
New quarterback for Attleboro. It'll be Andrew LeClaire, number 11. Looks like a new tailback as well. Nope. It was, it was Nunez on the carry, number 24. So Ralph Nunez with the carry.
So both teams with a number of backup players in. We have another stoppage in play.
Not sure what this is about.
Looks like the trainer going out for Bishop Feehan.
Looks like they're headed over to the Attleboro sideline to attend to somebody. I'm not sure. All right, so we're set to go after a gain of 2 on first down. 2nd and 8 at the 35. Andrew LeClaire, the new quarterback, on 2nd and 8. Going to pitch it back, near side. Nunez, and he's going to be pulled down. Nice play defensively by Jay Bornstein, number 3.
Yeah, Bornstein is the free safety now, replacing Conway.
Yep.
Did a good job getting that angle. Nunez looked like he may have had some room, gets to the sideline, but.
So both teams have gone to their second string.
Yeah, this is the time of game for that for both sides. Give these players a chance to play.
Yep, it'll be 3rd down and 7 now at the 37. That's Larkin in motion, and I don't think they got it off in time.
No, they had a couple of guys moved. Both guards, both left and right guards, came out of their stances early. The procedure against Attleboro.
It's been one of those nights. If you're a Blue Bombardier.
It's just tough. It's because you come in, as we mentioned, they were on a 4-game winning streak after starting the season 0-3. But you made the point. They lost to some good teams. We saw Foxborough last week. They're a good team. Franklin has a decent record. Marshfield so-so. But then Attleboro put together 4 straight wins, including the New Bedford win that we did. So
Durfee, Coyle, Cassidy, New Bedford, and Somerset last week in a big win.
This is just not what they expected.
Nope. 3rd down and 12. This is Nunez trying the left side, breaking some tackles, still on his feet. And he does a good job to get up close to the 40. Very good effort, but it'll be well shy of the first down. And bring up 4th down. Derek Johnson's been a busy man, the punter, tonight for Attleboro. And he'll have to punt it away once again. Daniel Espinoza back in single safety at about his own 30. I'm telling you, partner, don't put those rosters away.
I tell you, Bishop Feehan has some players out there who want on the roster. They're at home, and you made the point at halftime. They have a full sideline. Some college teams don't have this many kids in uniform. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some players.
Everybody.
Well, Friday night, you know, it's
Halloween,
big game.
You're home. They're going to fake it. Chris Palermo, and he's going to be dropped at the 30, and Bishop Feehan will be in great field position. Jay Bornstein with the stop. They were going for the fake on about 4th and 4.
Wow.
And Chris Palermo never had a chance.
Watch the replay. You see the pass, and pass is thrown behind Palermo. That's why he never had a chance. And also his teammate, who was supposed to throw the block, couldn't get there.
Larkin didn't get there in time. So Bishop Feehan with 7:15 to go in the football game will have it 1st and 10 at the 32 of Attleboro. Mike Montagna fumbled the football. Let's see.
Yeah, Attleboro has it. Attleboro covered it, so they'll get the ball back.
So Attleboro gets it back, and right now let's go down to the sidelines and Trina Fernandez.
Well, hello. I've got a little trivia for all you Shamrock fans out there. It turns out there's quite a bit of NFL experience on the coaching staff for the Shamrocks. Coach Peavy played for the Broncos in '87 under Dan Reeves. I don't think he picked up his coaching style from him, though. He was the long snapper, and he played guard for the '87 Broncos. And defensive line coach Toby Williams played for the Patriots from '83 through '89. He was a nose tackle and a defensive end. There's a couple of nice tidbits for you guys up there in the booth. You can chew on those along with the Halloween candy that I know you stole and you're keeping away from me. Back to you.
Trina, we always have Halloween candy for you. What are you kidding me? Where does she come up with this stuff? She's good.
You scour the sideline.
Yeah, exactly. Attleboro with the football back after the turnover. And a late flag, a hit out of bounds.
Deadly.
And on the carry for Attleboro that time, Jason Patterson, number 20, with his first carry of the night. And then I think he got hit a couple yards beyond the sideline.
They'll tack 15 yards onto this one. Well, the goal now with, 6:29 to go is just for Attleboro, just get in the end zone. At least put one score on the board. You never want to get shut out. You never want to get shut out with a huge score like this. See, Patterson gets hit out of bounds and actually get thrown down by...
He's a 5'8", 140-pound sophomore. So after the penalty, the ball moved out to the 48-yard line where it's 1st and 10. Clock winding as we approach 6:20 to go in the game. Pitch back. Patterson will try the left side, hemmed in and brought down for a loss. Back at the 45 as he'll lose about 3. Second and 13 now. Patrick Butler, by the way, number 35, is the fullback now for Attleboro. He and Patterson in the I formation. So 2nd and 13 back at the 45. Near side, Larkin the catch and brought down right at midfield immediately. Pretty good play defensively there by Dan Espinoza, number 4.
Good coverage, good hit.
Gain of about 5. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 8 right at midfield. Now, if you got an A on your helmet, it's been a long evening.
Wow, really.
There's the trophy that they award that Trina talked about earlier.
It's been
the winner of this game.
Bishop Feehan for what, the last 3 years or the last 4 years?
Something like that.
They'll stay here again.
So 3rd down and 8 now, right at midfield. The delay, Patterson trying to get to the outside, breaks a tackle. He'll have a first down and then some, cutting it back, still on his feet. And he's finally brought down inside the 30-yard line. Nice run for Jason Patterson, the sophomore. He broke a tackle back behind the line of scrimmage and picked up a first down and then some.
As you mentioned, good job by Patterson. Watch this replay. Delay, Patterson goes to the outside, uses his speed as he gets to the corner. Cornerback came up and was able to miss. Right here, he's able to, as you mentioned, run through a tackle. Now just gets pulled down from behind. Shows good speed, gives Attleboro a first down.
1st and 10 at the 27. Pro set this time for Andrew LeClaire. Pitch back, Patterson, left side, still on his feet, and has another first down.
Well, Kevin DeShanes is probably showing us his tailback of the future. Obviously, Mike Palermo being a senior. And moving on to some college football. As Patterson, the sophomore, you see the straight pitch. Simple plays at this point, just letting Patterson use his ability. Get to the sideline. Nice little juke move that you avoid some tacklers and finish off with a nice dive.
3:20 to go in the football game. Pitch back. This time Patterson will try the right side. He'll cut it back and is taken off his feet close to the 15-yard line. A little shy of the 15 as we move under 3 minutes remaining.
Tune in tomorrow when the next wave of women's tennis superstars are on CN8, competing in the Advancer Tennis Championships. The doubles finals are first up at 2:30 p.m., then at 7 p.m. it's the singles finals. Great day for tennis right here on CN8.
So 2nd and 6 after a gain of 4. All the way to actually 2nd and goal at the 6. Patterson trying to get to the outside, still on his feet. And then taken down, let's see, where are they going to spot his forward progress? As it'll bring up 3rd down and goal. Looks like he got it down close to the 2.
All right, so Patterson's been a bit of a bright spot.
Maybe even the 1. So an opportunity to punch one in here for Attleboro. 3rd and goal at the 2. Patterson fighting. I don't know.
I think he stopped short.
Looks like he's just shy of the goal line. It'll be 4th down with 1:30 to go in the football game. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. There's a timeout on the field, 1:28 to go. We'll be right back. And welcome back to McGrath Stadium. The only thing remaining to be decided is whether or not Attleboro will get on the scoreboard, as they're going to have 4th and goal at the 1-yard line.
Well, the ball's on the far hash mark. If they run a play with Patterson coming to the wide side of the field, he may have enough open space to try to sneak in the end zone. So they tried up the middle, and even with this second group for Bishop Stang, they're doing a decent job with the short yardage.
4th and goal at the 1. Patterson trying the right side.
Oh, he didn't get in.
And they're not giving us any indication And Bishop Feehan is held. He's going to be just shy of the goal line with 1:20 to go.
Now, it's sort of a culmination of what's been a completely tough night for Attleboro, because that was an impressive drive, mostly by the running of Patterson. This time takes the handoff and
tell you, number
linebacker
41 defensively,
right in there.
Aiden Murphy. He was the one who made the stop. He got him about a yard behind the line of scrimmage, and he wasn't able to get in there. Ball be spotted about a football length from the goal line.
Shows you how close he was, right?
Yep, exactly. 1:02 to go. Montagna, the quarterback, and he'll just sneak it himself, as he'll dive out close to the 5-yard line and give him a little breathing room. And at this point, with about 50 seconds to go, they probably only have to run one more play. Well, it wasn't a treat tonight for Attleboro.
Not at all.
Halloween.
Not at all. I'll tell you, the Bishop Feehan team, they're impressive. We knew coming in they were a very good team, good size, very good skill players.
Yep.
We saw both McCoy and Conway showed why they've gotten so much publicity during the course of the season.
And Kyle McAllis, 3 touchdowns. He's had a terrific night on the ground. A fine junior tailback. And he'll just take a knee with 15 seconds to go, and this one will go into the history books as a shutout for Bishop Feehan. They were very impressive, Alan, as you mentioned, and they really broke it open late in the first half. They got 2 scores within the final 3.5, 4 minutes of that first half, and what was a 7-0 game turned into a 3-score game at halftime, and then they scored very early in the second half.
First drive.
To make it right, 28-0 right off the bat, and that's pretty much all she wrote. They scored 3 touchdowns in a probably game span of about 6 minutes from the end of the first half leading into the first couple of minutes of the second
That's right,
half.
and that just
that was the ball game.
Yeah, Attleboro just had Attleboro already had trouble trying to get their offense going. They never got Palermo loosened up for any kind of yardage. They never really threatened to score. They had one chance deep in Bishop Feehan territory, but even that was stopped on downs.
All right, we'll take a timeout, come back, and wrap this one up. Bishop Feehan wins it 36-0. And welcome back to McGrath Stadium. Right now, let's go back right down to the sidelines, and Trina Fernandez with the star of the game for Bishop Feehan.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with running back Kyle McAllis, who had 3 touchdowns tonight in a fantastic evening. Kyle, we're going to show your first touchdown in just a second, and I just want you to walk us through it, tell us how the play developed. All right, here we go.
It's a basic ISO left and fall in the fullback, and there's huge hole up front from the tackle and the guard. So it's pretty much it.
Looked pretty easy getting it in there. And here's your last touchdown.
It's actually the same play. So ISO left and good blocking up front again.
Looked like your blockers did a nice job for you all night.
Huge hole.
You had about 67 yards on the night. Now, I heard that you transferred here last year from King Philip. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. A lot of my family went here, and I just kind of regretted it, not going here since freshman year. So just transferred this year.
So that wound up being a good decision for you.
Yeah, I like it so far. It was a good decision. I'm pretty happy with it.
It was a big evening for the McAllis family because not only did you get 3 touchdowns, but your grandmother won something. What did your grandmother win in the stands?
She won the 50-50 raffle for the second time this season. It's pretty good.
So a lucky night for the Shamrocks and for Grandma.
Yeah.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Trina. Grandma twice this
won the
week.
50-50.
Wow. That's the second time this year.
Talk
So
about Halloween
she's doing
candy,
all right. All right. I think we have some final stats to look at, and they'll bear out that it really was all Bishop Feehan here.
Most definitely. The most important stats not on there, up top rather, 36-0. Total domination pretty much by the Shamrocks from the first quarter on. But next week should not be domination at all. I'm looking forward to this one. It's been on the schedule all year, and Peabody Everett, I tell you, it's going to be fun. They're in the Greater Boston League. Those two two towns do not like each other. As a matter of fact, I remember when we did the Waltham Everett game, which again was a blowout. Everett won easy. There were some fans from Everett in front of us saying that the only team that Everett would run the score up against would be Peabody. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next week.
And we remind you that game will kick off on Saturday at 9 p.m. That's going to wrap things up for tonight. For Alan Platt, Trina Fernandez, our producer-director Chris Larson, and our entire Comcast Varsity Sports Zone crew, I'm Rich Levine saying so long, everybody. Your final once again, 36-0 Bishop Feehan. We'll see you next week.
Going, and we had the flow of the game really with us tonight.
All right, you explain.
Yeah, I got everything. No problem. All right, so here's what we're doing. Going to toss him. We're off camera. Going to toss immediately to Trina. She's got McAllis. Stats. This is all going to be very quick. Stats very briefly. Next game.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it will be a good game. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Chris. I think the stats are sort of lopsided. Can we use that time to talk about PB Everett instead? Okay. That's fine. Okay. Right. Okay, good, good. Yes, that's what I wanted to do. Right, exactly. Okay.
What do they get the freshmen out there?
Freshman kids,
pull the tarp up.
They get to dress for the games. They got to pull the tarp up. Yeah. That's the deal.
And you know what? They're thrilled to do
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
So most have got to run all night.
There you go.
And these guys are saying, you know what? This is heavy. Give us a hand. Got the tarp on there now.
You're football players.
We're not a grounds crew. We're football players. It's cooling down a little. Okay. We're ready anytime. My partner here was born ready, so I never worry about him.
I'm telling you, it's like
I think the
I didn't think
walls.
it'd be that.